Okay, I'm gonna respond to this.
Warner Brothers Discovery has just sold a DC property to Netflix, and the reasoning behind it is exactly why the Snyderverse can be on Netflix too.
I'm not sure what you mean about that, but let's see. Why is that so loud compared to your voice?
Hey everyone, welcome back to our movie news. We have some great news regarding the Snyderverse, as Warner Brothers and Netflix have just agreed a deal to move a DC property onto the streaming service. This is big news not only because it shows that Warner Brothers and Netflix are open to negotiating DC properties, but the reasoning as to why that DC property has moved to Netflix in the first place is the exact same reason as to why the Snyderverse can go to Netflix too.
What's the property? You're just repeating the same thing you said before.
The report comes from The Hollywood Reporter, titled DC Drama Dead Boy Detectives Moves to Netflix from HBO Max. Sources say the
Wait. Dead Boy Detective moves to Netflix from HBO Max. So it was already planned to be made. It was already thought of to be created and already greenlit and everything.
Berlanti produced drama didn't fit with the new
Okay. It was greenlit, already made. Probably a continuation from the Titan show or the Doom Patrol. I'm not sure, but I remember there was an episode that they had the boys in there. So
chapter of content being spearheaded by DC executives James Gunn and Peter Safran. So not only has Dead Boy Detectives been sold to Netflix from HBO Max, but it's been sold there because it didn't fit with the new DCU.
Seems like you're ignoring the whole Netflix stage from HBO Max thing, whereas you just seem like ignoring that part of the thing, but I don't know.
It also clearly indicates that Netflix is interested in purchasing DC property.
Interested when they get the offer, I guess, but not really interested as in getting sought after.
The article also states that selling shows to third parties is a top priority for Warner Brothers Discovery.
Shows to third party, Warner Brothers Discovery things. It's well, it's DC. Warner Brothers Discovery is DC is part of it, but DC is a separate studio.
Remember, they are in $50 billion worth of debt, and they are really trying to reduce that as much as they can.
So you're using that to support the thing that you want?
Now, I know Warner Brothers are mainly focused on shows being sold to third parties, but two things on that note. Firstly, that doesn't mean they wouldn't be open to the opportunity of licensing DC movies to streaming services. It just means their top priority is on shows. And the second is that the Snyderverse could be a series for Netflix. We know that Snyder loves to create long movies, so a series format for the Snyderverse could work a lot better than a couple of movies. Don't forget, Snyder originally planned to have the Snyder Cut released as a series as well, with each episode releasing weekly.
Oh, that's why it was 4 hours. If it was 4 hours, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been in theaters for 4 hours.
But that was shot down by Toby Emmerich, so it is something that Snyder is open to as well. On the note of Snyder's interest, he has once again liked another post.
So liking something confirms they're gonna make it? Okay, time to like all the friggin' continuations of the Galactic Kids Next Door then.
Regarding the hashtag, this latest one asking him if he is still interested in completing his DC story. So yes, he didn't answer it directly.
He did continue it. He made the comic things, right? Like he worked with the comic guy, or am I mistaken? I'm pretty sure they continued it.
Which could be because of his contract with Netflix right now. But what people need to remember is that he doesn't have to like these posts.
Doesn't have to, but when he sees it, oh, someone likes the thing that they made, I like it, boom.
And more importantly, he knows his fan base. He knows how they react to his actions on social media. So if he likes a post, then we know he has done that for a reason. One thing I haven't seen people mention either is this part of the article. Dead Boy Detectives joins the fellow Greg Berlanti produced drama You at Netflix after Warner's, where the prolific producer is based with a rich overall deal, shopped the latter following its failure to cut through on basic cable network Lifetime. You now ranks as one of Netflix's most popular scripted originals. The reason why I bring this up is because this is a very similar situation to what Snyder has going on at Netflix.
So?
Just like Berlanti, he too has a great working relationship with the streaming service, and I'm sure...
I'm pretty sure a lot of people have great relationship to a lot of stuff because they don't want to burn bridges. I don't know.
One of the reasons why Dead Boy Detectives has been sold to Netflix is because of their relationship with Berlanti and the success his other show You had on their streaming service. So Snyder is building a great relationship with them, and if Rebel Moon does really well, not only would Netflix be interested in expanding that universe, but it also means they could be open to other...
Oh, if it does well, people that are against the Snyderverse, you know what to do. Make the show not do well. Just kidding, I just don't like, don't do that. I don't like that toxic mindset of forcing a company to do your bidding and stuff.
Projects with Snyder, like the Snyderverse. So Snyder is interested. DC is interested in selling DC properties to Netflix.
Not everything though.
And Netflix is interested in purchasing DC properties. Everything lines up for the Snyderverse being able to go to Netflix. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but I will say it until the message is clear. We are not asking for Netflix to buy outright the DC characters, nor are we saying the Snyderverse is its own IP. What we are saying is clear. We want to see the continuation of the Snyderverse. The best place for that is on Netflix. What we are asking for is for Warner Brothers to license the DC characters to
Jeez, there's a lot of flashing in your video. Get epilepsy warning, man. Be more responsible.
Netflix so that they can work with Snyder to complete the DC story he had started. That doesn't mean selling the rights, and it doesn't mean licensing the characters, meaning the DCU can't use them. It would be a non-exclusive deal that allows both companies to use them at the same time.
Both companies, two companies using the same characters at the same time. Like when people are saying that having two Batmans would confuse the artists, the fans, the casuals. Having a Joker and another Joker, a few Jokers at the same time would confuse people. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that go.
And no, you can't use the excuse of creating competition, because the Batman universe and the Joker universe are both expanding and are disconnected from Gunn's DCU.
But the Batman thing is a separate thing than the Justice League thing and another Justice League thing. And at least the Batman and the Joker still gonna be on HBO Max, versus the Netflix, it will be on Netflix, not HBO Max. So it will be competition, because it will be in a separate streaming thing than HBO Max. So it is competition.
So putting the Snyderverse on a completely different streaming service, one not even competing with them theatrically, is very possible and very affordable.
Competing theatrically, what about stream-wise? Because DC stuff are gonna go to HBO Max, which would help support HBO Max and continue HBO Max. And if they add Snyderverse, it would not continue HBO Max, because it will be on Netflix, which is not HBO Max, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, if HBO Max is not Netflix, right?
Which is why we are asking for it to happen. Warner Brothers Discovery
You're not asking, you're forcing.
are in a lot of debt. The company,
And that's your main thing, right? They're in debt, so they have to do this.
ended the fourth quarter with $45.5 billion worth in debt.
So that's your main thing. They're in debt. And you're against them canceling stuff, because canceling stuff is not good, but starting something completely new and risking confusion of the casual audience, that's worth it, right?
On its balance sheets and $3.9 billion in cash on hand. Warner Brothers reported a loss of $2.1 billion for the period. So they decreased their debt from $50 billion down to $45.5 billion, but still made a loss of $2.1 billion.
Congratulations, you do math. You do math well. And you constantly just push that whole debt thing, right? Yeah.
It's actually one of the reasons why Dead Boy Detectives is going to Netflix. They wouldn't be able to afford to produce the series until 2024 at the earliest.
Jeez. Stop flashing lights on the screen.
So licensing it was the best option. If they want to decrease that number, there is no better way than licensing their biggest DC characters to Netflix. You can get a large fee for minimal effort from a storyline that they abandoned and was never going to use.
Oh, that reminds me of never gonna use. You're gonna say they're never gonna use the Snyder thing, right? And that's why you should move that thing there, right? Well, would they use Batman again? Would they use Superman again? Would they use Wonder Woman again, or Aquaman again? So if they're not using those characters, of course that would be good. But they're using it. They're using those characters.
It's a perfect opportunity for the company to reduce that debt, and if it's popular, why not continue that arrangement past its original deal? Maybe even create a yearly payment that Netflix have to pay to keep the rights. That would mean Discovery get a large yearly revenue stream from a storyline of characters they weren't going to use anymore, and it means Netflix get to have their own DC universe.
Pretty good point. However, still competition. Giving the dead brother something detectives, mainly because they weren't using it anyways. But Justice League, I'm pretty sure they're gonna use Justice League
On their streaming platform. Netflix can easily afford it too, by the way. In 2022, they made around $31.6 billion in revenue, meaning they made roughly $4.5 billion in profits. And you could get the rights to the DC.
They made that much profit, but how much do they have now? Because they're pushing in the whole password sharing thing. They raised the prices of a lot of this stuff, right? And also, they're cutting off a lot of the animation and canceling some shows and stuff. So I don't believe they're in too much of a thing that they can give a yearly thing. But yeah.
The characters for well under $1 billion, so the argument that Netflix can't afford it is also invalid. To put it simply, Netflix can't afford DC characters for well under $1 billion in profits, and you could get the rights to the DC characters for
the rights for the characters. Didn't he say not giving the rights to the characters? It's mainly like sharing the characters. I just found something that he made the mistake of saying. And you're a professional, had all those subscribers, and you said getting the rights for it instead of sharing it, and less than $1 billion. They're Warner Brothers is in debt, in pretty big debt. You even admitted that they're in big debt. So less than $1 billion for a whole year? Are you kidding me?
Well under $1 billion, so the argument that Netflix can't afford it is also invalid. To put it simply,
but would they want it?
Netflix want to buy DC properties and can afford the most popular DC characters.
Can afford the characters. You're saying it again. You said afford the characters, but you also said that they're not getting the characters.
Warner Brothers Discovery are in a lot of debt and are actively finding ways to decrease it.
A lot of debt. Why are you saying less than $1 billion then? Being able to make a show with characters that you don't own, pretty sure would be more than $1 billion for a whole year.
And their top priority is to sell to third parties. There is a
not top priority. I'm pretty sure it said they're trying to do that. Top priority means they're gonna always do that.
A lot of demand for the Snyderverse, and Netflix already likes Snyder. Everything is in place for this to happen. There is this perfect opportunity.
But does Netflix have interest in Justice League?
Opportunity for DC's brands to expand beyond Warner Brothers, and this is the best way to do it.
Wait.
DC's brands to expand beyond Warner Brothers.
Beyond Warner Brothers. They own it though. What are you saying? To give them to them? Sell the characters off?
And this is the best way to do it. They cut their debt, expand DC's reach while still owning the characters, but also disconnecting themselves entirely from the pressure of the Snyderverse's demand.
Like you're demanding.
Allowing them to fully focus on the rebooted DCU. So if you want the Snyderverse to happen, and even if you don't think it's possible but still want to see the Snyderverse, then make sure to take part in the trending event happening on March 18th.
March 18th. Does that mean you're gonna tell people to say stuff? Have everyone say stuff at the same time and everything? Is that a thing? That sounds like a cult. Is that a cult? That Snyderverse cult?
which would be exactly 2 years since the Snyder Cut was released. The more voices we get, the higher the chance of something happening. And as
More voices. Wait.
events happening on March 18th, which would be exactly 2 years since the Snyder Cut was released. The more voices we get, the higher the chance of something happening. And
more voices you get. That sounds like a dictatorship right there. That sounds weird.
As I predicted, my previous video had people telling us to move on, and I'm sure we will have the same in this video.
Yep. Just move on.
Too. If you see those comments, just feel bad for those people. The fact they want to tell people what to do when it doesn't affect them at all.
I can't believe you said that.
And I'm sure we will have the same in this video too. If you see those comments, just feel bad for those people. The fact they want to tell people what to do when it doesn't affect them at all only reflects badly on them.
Wow.
Not us. When it doesn't affect them at all only reflects badly on them, not us.
Wait a minute here.
People telling us to move on, and I'm sure we will have the same in this video too. If you see those comments, just feel bad for those people. The fact they want to tell people what to do when it doesn't affect them at all only reflects badly on them.
Telling people what to do, like what you're doing, you literally.
18th, which would be exactly. Make sure to take part in the trending events happening DCU. So if you want the Snyderverse to happen, and even if you don't think it's possible but still want to see the Snyderverse, then make sure to take part in the trending events happening on March 18th.
You're telling someone what to do.
Which would be exactly 2 years since the Snyder Cut was released. The more voices we get, the higher the chance of something happening.
You're telling people what to do and trying to get something happening.
And as I predicted, my previous video had people telling us to move on, and I'm sure we will have the same in this video too. If you see those comments, just feel bad for those people. The fact they want to tell people what to do.
Are you doing that? You're telling people to tell Warner Brothers and DC to do this with Netflix?
When it doesn't affect them at all.
Doesn't affect them at all. Doesn't affect you at all if you do this or not.
Only reflects badly on them, not us.
No self-awareness right here.
So ignore them and keep pushing for what you love. Positivity will always beat negativity.
Pushing thing you love by forcing companies to do your bidding.
And the toxic negative people telling others that they can't simply ask for more of the movies they love.
More of something they love. Huh. More killing Jewish people, more killing, more slavery, more, I'm going a little overboard, but you get what I mean. You're trying to force people to do stuff. Like Disney Infinity, there's a fan base that's continuously trying to do the fan base with the Disney Infinity, and then Disney doesn't care. And the Club Penguin stuff, all that stuff,
are the ones that are hurting. So just feel bad for them. We have a goal and we have a method.
I feel bad for you because this is not going to happen. I promise you.
We want to see the Snyderverse on Netflix, and we will push for it positively and collectively.
Snyderverse is going to compete with the DCU, so I don't know why they would do that, and James Gunn even says it's a stupid thing.
So I hope to see you on March 18th using both hashtags, and hopefully it shows the persistent demand
Wait.
for you on March 18th using both hashtags for it positively and collectively. So I hope to see you on March 18th using both hashtags.
Telling someone to use hashtags, wait, let me...
Focus on the rebooted DCU. So if you want the Snyderverse to happen, and even if you don't think it's possible but still want to see the Snyderverse, then make sure to take part in the trending event happening on March 18th, which would be not us. The fact they want to tell people what to do when it doesn't affect them at all only reflects badly on March 18th using for it positively and collectively. So I hope to see you on March 18th using both hashtags in this video too. If you see those comments, just feel bad for those people. The fact they want to tell people what to do when it doesn't affect them all, and we have a method. We want to see the Snyderverse on Netflix, and we will push for it positively and collectively. So I hope to see you on March 18th using both hashtags, and hopefully it shows the persistent demand for the Snyderverse. But video too. If you see those comments, just feel bad for those people. The fact they want to tell people what to do when it doesn't affect them at all only reflects badly on them, not us. See the Snyderverse on Netflix, and we will push for it positively and collectively. So I hope to see you on March 18th using both hashtags, and hopefully it shows the persistent demand for the Snyderverse. But that is all for today. And I'm sure we will have the same in this video too. If you see those comments, just feel bad for those people. The fact they want to tell people what to do when it doesn't affect them at all.
There you go. I kept repeating that because you get what I mean. You're contradicting yourself. You're not wanting people to force people what to do while forcing people what to do. All right. And just for fun, just gonna show this. Thank you. So yeah, I did that just to point out how crazy it is, right? You're being crazy, and to me, they're not gonna do it because they would have two different Justice League things going at the same time, competing with each other, and you say that it won't compete, but it will, because the Netflix one will go to Netflix. And who owns Netflix? Netflix owns Netflix. And HBO Max, Batman, Joker, HBO Max. That's why it's not competition, because it's gonna go to the same place that every DC thing's gonna go to, Netflix. And also, that dead brother detective thing, they're not planning for that to be with the DC stuff. That's why they're doing it. Versus Justice League, yeah. And if they do the detective thing, they can do it way, way later. But Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, they're doing it now. They're doing it now. So yeah.